Hey guys, welcome back to another DK podcast. It's your homegirl Joey. We are still at episode 29. This is the second half of 29, 29.2. Thanks for coming back. I ain't gonna keep you long. Let's go.
Come back on the regular trail. Back to OJ. So a few things that he really talked about that was important was this idea, and you kind of talked about it like you're all things to all people at this point. He talked about the idea of family reconciliation, and he shared with us that while he was away, he had 6 kids, and coming back they were older.
Yeah.
And he talked about just like shifting his parenting style from like real rigid and controlling to like an active and listening father. So one of the things that you said was today the conversation was, I don't just do youth, I do the whole family, right? So why is it important for us to begin to think about families holistically when it comes to what you're dealing with Time Done and Dream Catchers? Like that's kind of how it started. You want to do something for the single moms, but then there's the kids and it's all that. So why is family important, and why does the idea of a whole family, specifically in the urban context, the Black community, why is that important to you, and why is that important moving forward?
There's a lot of reasons. I'll say the number one reason is, so when I originally thought about Dream Catchers, I thought about the youth, being because I have children. And then I was like, hey, remember the women you were locked up with?
Yeah.
So then that's where the mothers came involved. And it's like, well, why can't we help both? Because if you think about it, if you help the women, but the children are struggling, and you send the women in to try to build some type of a foundation, but the children are still struggling, it's not going to be sustainable. It's going to collapse. And vice versa. If you help the children but the parents are struggling, and you try to send the children back to the family, the same thing is going to happen. It's not going to be sustainable. So you have to help the whole dynamic, whether it's the mother, the father, the grandmother, the children, the uncle, whoever's involved in that unit. You have to help everybody's in order for the foundation to be solid.
Yeah, no, you do. You're absolutely right. And I think with OJ, once he realized a lot of that while he was waiting, he came home and he got to work, and he does this thing called the I want to make sure I get it right, the Empower Fit program. And he talked about like your focus is on women, but his was he's going to do a fitness program for young men through 11 through 17 to help them with stuff like emotional regulation, mental health, and awareness and stuff, different things like that. And I think a lot of times in this journey through this podcast, if you talk to people, the issue of family keeps coming up.
Yes.
The issue of holistic families, the issue of how the system is designed
to break us apart.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I really want to encourage you. Once again, if you are watching this, go back and check out that episode.
Yeah. Because I love that dynamic of his organization, because he wants to build these young boys up into young men, into men, right? And granted, women, as much as we try, as hard as we try, we're not men.
Wait a minute. Now there's something happening with sports right now. And they got these former men who are now identified as women competing in women's sports, but they're like, it's like a big thing. You don't know about this?
I have no idea.
Like, people have lost championships behind this because the man dude was crushing.
I'm sure.
I mean, the woman, man, whatever. I'm going to be very careful what I say because I don't want you to get bad. But it's a really big deal. I have girls. Like, I have little girls. So, like, I would not be happy.
You don't see no man dunking on your daughter, excuse my language, with his balls in her face. I know you don't want to see that, right?
That's just not happening at all. I will get kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
So going back to this idea of masculinity.
Yes.
Because that's a really big thing for OJ and his foundation. I want to piggyback off that. Just so dive into that more, like you said, no matter as much as women, right? You need men.
Yeah, we can raise them, but we can't put the value of a man into a man, right? All we can do is, we can give them the nurturing part, for sure, because that's what we are. That's what we come with. We can teach them how to clean. We can teach them how to cook. We can teach them how to, treat a woman from a woman's perspective. But we cannot give them that masculinity identity.
Mm-hmm.
They need a male's point of view. They need that male figure. And, a lot of times the men are not in the picture. The fathers are not in the picture. So women, I encourage you to, ask the uncle for help. Ask the cousin for help.
Mm-hmm.
Ask a brother for help. Have a godfather. You know what I mean? Like a pastor. Someone like OJ. You know what I'm saying? A big brother. Something that can help them, that'll give them some type of outlet.
Yeah.
Because they need a man to be like, hey, this is what's going on. Because we don't, some things we don't have answers to because we're not men.
This is true.
And I love that he gives those young men, those young boys, that opportunity who may not have a in-home father. He gives them that opportunity to ask the questions that they may be embarrassed to ask their mothers, or, so a lot of times you hear mothers tell the boys not to cry. And that's crazy, because what else is he supposed to do with his emotions? And OJ will teach him, or can teach him, how to, maintain, how to handle his emotions. In the proper form,
Yeah. If you're noticing this segment of the podcast, there's a reason why I'm not saying anything, because I'm a wise man.
Am I wrong?
Hey, listen.
No,
this is your
if
podcast.
I'm wrong, tell me.
No, you're not wrong. That's why I'm being quiet.
Oh, okay. No,
a wise man
I don't
once
want to
said
lead
nothing.
nobody astray.
No, yeah, nobody astray.
I can only go off of what I know.
Yeah, you've
so
been doing this for a minute.
If there's anything that you can piggyback on, hey, hit the ball out the park.
Hey, all I know is that masculinity is a really big deal, and I think my attitude is what's happening in our generation and the generations after that is because we're dealing with the fatherhood wound. I think 75% of our problems, specifically in our urban communities and black communities, come from the idea of fathers not being in the picture. The only reason why I'm halfway walking straight is because my mom at 6 said he needs a man in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And my stepdad ended up being in my life until he passed. But that was my dad. My biological father, or as people would call them, sperm donors, you know what I mean? He didn't really contribute much, but my dad was my dad, and I've had other men invest in me in such a way that I got it right. I believe I got it right. And I've had an opportunity to really impact a lot of men. So I'm quiet because I'm going to just play this recording for a lot of people so they can understand, what it's hitting for. All right, so before we go on this episode, I want to go back to OJ, because we never really talked about his work we talked about the work he does. Mm-hmm. He's so the word is not complex, because he's not complex, but he's multifaceted. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of different parts of him, but his main thing is fitness.
Right.
So, and he's really good at what he does.
Absolutely.
So when you're good at one thing, that opens up the lane for other things.
Yep.
So I really liked his approach to his fitness business, mm-hmm. Where he talked about like clubs charging a fee, and then like they don't really work with you well. So talk about like what your experience was as a client, mm-hmm. right? And like what's the difference between like his programs versus LA Fitness or Crunch Fitness or I don't know, some other programs.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I never been to no other gym.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. You don't like to go to gyms.
Well, so
not like that. You just don't.
So this is what it was. When I went to boot camp.
Okay.
Right? So the way that he trains is what I'm used to. So I think that's why I gravitated towards him from that first initial meeting, because I came from boot camp, military training, and they push you even when you don't want to be pushed.
Yes,
if you want to graduate, you better let them push you.
I know. 92 Alpha, automatic logistics supplies. Yes, I know.
So, I guess it was something that I was craving. I was craving that push. So again, when I first initially met him, it was like, oh. And then when I became a client, that's what had me continuously coming back. It wasn't even the money that I was paying him. You know what I mean? What continuously had me coming back was he challenged me.
Okay.
And the fact that he challenged me, I saw results. And so now, mind you, when I started going to OJ, I had just started the post office, and maybe like a year. I had been a year in at the post office. Now, when I started the post office, I was 155. After that first year, I was 129. I looked crazy. So to the point where people were asking me, was I on drugs?
Was you doing that white China?
And I'm like, no, I'm not on drugs.
That is a big difference.
I work for the post office.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
It's a lot of, it's a lot of, it's a lot of movement, up and down. So anyway, so I went to OJ and I said, hey, look, clearly I'm not trying to lose no weight. I said, what I want to do is I want to gain weight. So he told me, he said, I got you. He said, we're going to bulk you up and then we will cut you down. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm on like a 3,000 calorie diet, yes, every day. Every day. And I mean, when I say like I started counting calories, and I feel like I figured out that a Wendy's Fab for Fab was half of my 3,000.
That's crazy.
I promise you, it's 1,500, and that's with a root beer float.
I'm about to say what that's crazy.
That's what a root beer float. So I was like, cool. I'm basic because I'm not really like I eat, but I really don't do like I do late breakfast. I don't do an early breakfast. So it's kind of late breakfast, late lunch, late dinner. So, you know, if I'm getting that 1,500 calorie meal at like 3:00 in the afternoon, like that's like lunch and dinner. So I'm having something small for breakfast, something small for, I mean, you know, half of that breakfast and dinner. Anyway, long story short, I made that goal. I got back up to 150, and then I was working and my knees was starting to hurt. And I'm like, oh, it's time to start cutting because my knees is hurting. My body can't handle the weight while I'm working. And sure enough, he said, all right, 1,500, and we're going to start doing weights. So I'm like, all right, cool. But see, one thing about OJ, you have to tell him when you want him to ease up on your weight, because he will have you out here looking like Hercules.
Okay.
He will have you out here with a big back and all these muscles. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm a girl, Damien. I want to be soft looking.
Damien. Right. Yeah.
So OJ, he's really good at what he does, man. It's not a lie.
Yeah.
It is not a lie. I had and still have whenever I decide to go in and out the gym, because I make my way in and out of there every now and then. I'll go for 6 weeks and then I'll stop. But it's an amazing experience. It's a wonderful opportunity. So most of Pittsburgh already been there, and if you haven't been there, I advise you to go. I just put my nephew onto him because my nephew called me. He's like, hey, I think I want to go work out with Clay. And I said, Clay is an amazing trainer, but I think the type of trainer you need is OJ.
Yeah. And we'll get into Clay when we do the recap. That's no shade to him. They're just two different.
Right.
Two different.
But I was just, so my nephew, he's been going to OJ.
Nice. All right. Well, as we wrap it up, you kind of hit on it. OJ said a lot in the episode. Make sure you check it out.
Absolutely.
But he talked about health as a mandate, the reality of nutrition, and different things like that. But one of the last things we asked him was just like a holistic approach of where he saw himself going. And it's been quite some time, right, since we've had that interview. What were your takeaways, like 3 major takeaways that you would say briefly that would wrap up who OJ currently is and where he's going? And just express your gratitude to him and what he's done for you.
Oh man, I love OJ, and like I said, whenever he calls, I'm there, supporting whatever. The man that he is becoming, I didn't see this guy when I first started.
Like, you told me that. Especially with him getting married. You were like, what?
And that's what I was literally about to say. Like, I can't even say that he calmed down because his energy is through the roof. So he's still the same individual, but he's changed things about him, and I want to say that it was probably his wife that helped him change those things about him, because like he said, he realized he didn't want to be without her. Right. So, the man that he's becoming wiser, getting into his older age.
Mm-hmm.
And he just has nothing but greatness in front of him. If he keeps pushing, OJ's going to achieve everything that he puts his mind to do, because he does it already.
Yeah. And it's funny you said that, because he talked about how he got started. He was coaching somewhere else. It didn't really work out. Go back and watch the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to share too much. And then he ended up linking up with Clay, how they end up linking up. And then like the rest is history. Like I think they're going on 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good. Any other thoughts about OJ? Or just what you learned specifically from this episode with OJ? Not this episode currently, but that episode. Yeah.
Well, I can't even lie. A lot of stuff that besides his journey through the system, that I wasn't aware of that part. But most of the stuff outside with the family and things like that, we're that close, and we've had those type of conversations as I worked out, because there was times where I was the only person who showed up for the session, and so we got to have one-on-one conversations as I was working out. And so not too much that I learned about him as a individual. Like I said, just learning the backstory was what I was unaware of. But I'm just so glad that he did not let that stop him. That he put his mind to something and he accomplished it. And not only is he accomplishing it by himself, but he's bringing the city with him.
Yeah.
I can really appreciate that, because a lot of people could have got the momentum that he got, and they could have left the city and went to somewhere else. That he could be a personal trainer for a celebrity or something like that, because he has that spark. Those two trainers on The Biggest Loser, the man and the woman, I can't remember their names, but if you guys have ever watched The Biggest Loser, he has that type of personality.
Yeah.
Where he can go anywhere and blow.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful that he's decided to put the city on his back, and he wants the city to shine. Yeah. He wants us to shine more than him.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I concur. I'm happy that he's a part of our city. He's a really big asset. Check out Club Elevation.
Yes.
Check him out on all of his social media handles.
Yep.
And
OJ Macklin.
OJ Macklin.
Yes, the man,
the myth, the man, the myth, the OJ Juice Man, the legend, and all that. But make sure you check out both episodes of previous and share this with people. Like, comment, and share it with all the masses. Yes. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by to view the wrap up for the recap of my man, OJ the Juice Man. This is episode 29.2. We thank you so much for this opportunity. You dropped so many jewels, and we just had to pick them up and show them to the people for you. Thank you for being a dreamer. We really appreciate it. Look forward to our next episode next weekend. Be blessed and have a great weekend.